I am Maria Glenn, the host of Everyday Extraordinary. Extraordinary means exactly what it says, extraordinary. Most of the time when we think about extraordinary people, we think of MJ, Michael Jackson, or the other MJ, Michael Jordan, Maya Angelou, Spike Lee, or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Extraordinary persons aren't limited to only high-profile individuals. Extraordinary persons could very well be you and I. The extraordinary person that we are honoring today has done all of this and more. I had the opportunity of interviewing the extraordinary. Kevin Hales, he's from Bronx, New York, a professor currently teaching at Savannah State University. Everything about Professor Hales says extraordinary. From being SGA president in college at Fisk University, to him later studying abroad as a Fulbright scholar. From Hales being a dynamic keeper of the African culture, to him being an educator and impacting students' lives. If you can't vividly imagine what an everyday extraordinary looks like, no worries, because after this episode, you will. I introduce to you Professor Kevin Hales.
My name is Kevin Hales, and I'm from the Bronx, New York, and I teach history at Savannah State University. The oldest black university in America, 1865. Literally, the Civil War ends in the spring of 65. The charter for Fisk was drawn up in the summer, June of 1865, and 6 months later, the doors were opened, and Fisk will admit students who were less than a year earlier were slaves, literally, on plantations throughout Tennessee. And so that is a magical, wonderful, unique, one-of-a-kind place. There's no other school like it. Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Yale, Spelman, Morehouse. No places can match the history and just the magical sort of quality that Fisk has.
Bring about a better communications with your students and the administration at Fisk University.
Well, one of the major projects which Kate didn't touch upon was our student newspaper. It's been dead now for half a decade. It's very important that we reactivate the Fisk Forum and get that back in place.
In being SGA president, which is a combination of things, I had a good friend, Kay Farley, who wanted to be Miss Fisk. That's where it really started. And we're up in Jubilee Hall one night, and she really wanted to be Miss Fisk, but she wanted to be Miss Fisk and wanted me to run and be SGA president. So we were best friends. She'd wear the crown, and I'd be the face of the campus, and we kind of would run things together in student government. And that was really mostly why initially I wanted to be, and later on the leadership aspects kind of came to fruition. But it was really initially because Kay wanted me to. I blame you, Kay. It's an exchange program where the main part of it is it's a program funded by Congress that affords American citizens a chance to study and do research and now even teach in some foreign country. It could be almost anywhere in the world. I've been blessed, so I've had two experiences. The first one, the late 1990s, I had a chance to spend a whole year in West Africa and I was based in Accra, Ghana, at the University of Ghana, Legon, and I was working with the Ghanaian Monument and Museums Board, and I had a chance to kind of go up and down the coast of West Africa doing research, hunting down photographs taken by some of Ghana's first black photographers. So that was a wonderful experience. And then in 2004, I won a second one to spend 4 months in Southern Africa, Botswana, Swaziland, South Africa, and Mozambique. And that was a whole different sort of research project. I think it's a calling. Lots of people have information, but teaching is something different than simply warehousing information. Conveying it is something altogether different than accumulating information. I've had the best students, white, black, red, yellow, brown, male, female, gay, straight, east, west, north, south, ever.
I know Professor Hales because he was my professor of history 2111 in spring 2009, and he was remarkable. He came into the room loud, rambunctious, energetic, and everybody, it was like 30 people in the class, and everybody was, you know, he's the new guy, so they were trying to give him a hard time, and he completely won everyone over. And I'd never seen that from a professor before. I just remember feeling welcome, feeling comfortable. I remember feeling like, okay, this guy's serious. He's not just gonna sit here and BS us or book us to death. He's brought something to offer us.
I got to Savannah State, and there were some people who believed that I wasn't great enough of a scholar to work with them in their program, study program, in Ghana notably. So you're sitting there with these two people who have won nothing when it comes to Africa. And no offense, I don't have a PhD, and I've won more things than they'll probably ever win with their PhDs. So it was sort of insulting, Maria. And so I was told at that same meeting that if I could find something, I could kind of do it on my own, but they wouldn't, you know, I couldn't work and be a part of their little program. And so when Dr. Uba contacted me in October of '08, man, we talked for 2 hours that first time on the phone, literally 2 hours that night, and he was like, okay, Hales, if you want to do this with me, we can work together in conjunction.
I didn't participate in the program until the summer of 2010. It was amazing, like it was different. It was out of my comfort zone, first of all, because I was thousands of miles away.
As soon as I got the plane, I felt at home, and I know a lot of people say that, but that's really truly how I felt.
We went to cultural museums because we was more focused on the Igbo culture, and we learned more about Igbo men, Igbo women, Igbo children, and more of how they live.
The experience overall was life-changing. I came back with a better appreciation for basic necessities I have here. And it was a wonderful experience. I think every African American should take that trip if they have the opportunity.
He's amazing, like he's brilliant. He's I guess you could say, you know, what we call a go-getter. Like he just never stops. Like nothing is never good enough. Like he always goes the extra mile.
I think Professor Hales is extraordinary because he chooses to be it. And if I had to define extraordinary, I would say that it's someone who knows that they just are, and he knows it. He doesn't second guess himself. He doesn't walk around seeking the approval of anybody else. He decided he would be it, and that's all it took.
Kevin Hales, an educator, scholar, philanthropist, an inspiration, and a keeper of the African culture. This has been another episode of Everyday Extraordinary. I'm your host, Maria Glenn. See you next time.